What's up, everybody? I'm Lil E, owner and creator of StreeTalkTV and StreeTalkTV Radio. This is Celebrity Stories, and for this story, I was going to talk about my guy French Montana. Shout out to French Montana to start off, and I had a cool experience with French Montana. One of many people that I met through the years. So at the time I was filming and I was a producer for the DCTV network, who I'm still with, got connections to, and I was filming. This was a pretty long time ago. A couple years back actually, and I think French was, just getting out there, just getting really onto the mainstream, and he ended up coming to DC to do a show, and I think he had Meek Mills with him. That's a whole nother conversation, but I seen Meek, of course, too, but he had Meek with him, and he had Red Cafe. Red Cafe was with him as well. Shout out to Red Cafe. Shout out to Meek Mills. So I was in the building with them. I can't remember which club it actually was, but before, of course, they get on, I was making my maneuvering through the back. The VIP sections and stuff like that, like behind the stage and stuff like that. Getting some drops and shout outs and stuff like that for the network and for my show, which was StreeTalkTV at the time. And so I end up running to French, and man, I don't know if people know or not, but French was very, very cool when I had met him. We didn't really chop it up long. I don't know him personally. Again, I was just the media there, and so I just of course said what's up to him. Real quick. Not trying to make it a big deal for real, but I did want to try to get a drop from him, a shout out if I could. And man, he was so cool. Chopped it up real quick with me, if he even remembers, and he went on and gave me the drop. French Montana, and shout out to DC TV, stuff like that. And like I said, shout out to Red Cafe, because Red Cafe wasn't too far from him, and even came over and gave me a drop as well. And they both showed me a lot of love. It wasn't like no starstruck moment or nothing, but they really did show me a lot of love, and because we was all kind of new. I was still new in the game on the filming side, with DCTV, and like I said, French was just really, I think, hitting the mainstream real hard. So it was a good look for me that they did that for me, and it was good for my show, of course, and able to go back to the DCTV with not only a good show, a good performance that they put on, that of course it's all on camera, and then they gave me a big shout out at the same time, so and they was both cool, French and Red Cafe again. Real stand-up guys, man, and a lot of people sometimes don't even want to talk to the media, or just how the media is with certain things. So I kept it real with them. They kept it real with me. Showed me a lot of love. So I wanted to give a salute and a shout out to French and Red Cafe for that time back then. And it was a groovy show at the same time. They had the place lit. Including Meek. So That was one thing. That was one thing right there, and I think that was, you know, that was my first interaction, basically, with French, which of course was real cool. So the second time I ended up catching French, he was back in DC. You know, I think 93.9 was hosting the event. It was off of Kenilworth Avenue, Northeast, and the big park. For the people that do know DC, they know where the big park is over there on right next to Kenilworth Avenue, and you know, not too far from the hood right there. And 93.9 was hosting the event, and I know they had French there, and they had our hometown's finest, the Beat Your Feet Boys. Shout out to Crazy Legs and you know, man, Portia, everybody, you know, with the originals. But man, the whole Beat Your Feet movement, if y'all know about that out here, which a lot of DC people do, you know, they was on stage, they was doing their thing, you know, getting it in. And I think Angie Ange was right there, not too far from me. And French was I think he was almost on stage at this time, and maybe standing on stage off, like, you know, to the side really. And you know, Noodles from the originals, man, shout out to Noodles. I think Noodles was up there doing his thing. And they getting the Beat Your Feet dance off. And so I have connections with Radio 1, basically 93.9, and everybody that's under you know, Radio 1. Shout out to Miss Kathy Hughes. But my uncle was somebody big with them, so I used to be able to. I was at a lot of their events already because I was almost family. You know, with the radio station because of my family. So I was at a lot of events of that 93.9 or Radio 1 had something to do with anyway, a lot of times. And Angie, I think it was Angie Ange. Deja Perez might have been there, but I think it was Angie Ange that was you know, going live at the time. And she said, you know, a few of them knew who I was, and I was speaking to her while the Beat Your Feet Boys was doing their thing, and so she say, you want me to put your son on the radio? So I asked my son, who was with me, who I had took him with me to the event, and I try to expose my kids to the stuff, you know, to the business. So I had him with me, and my son is really not camera friendly for real, so he declined. And Angie Ange was looking at him kind of crazy, like, you know, you don't want to get on, and you know, your mother will be happy to hear you on the radio and stuff like that. And he totally declined. And you know, it was all good. So as we was right there again next to the stage, French had ended up you know, kind of being almost like introduced in a way while the Beat Your Feet Boys was still on, kind of. So he was up there literally, not just on the side of the stage really, but up there, you know, really on the stage part itself, you know, with the boys while they doing their thing. And real quick, because I think they was about to end that, and I was right next to the side of the stage, and French was right there. And so we had walked up the steps, the little steps it was, we had walked up, and you know, I had the camera out and stuff. So I don't know if French even knew it was me from the first time that we had met, but of course I had, you know, said what's up, introducing myself, basically, you know, something real quick. And you know, French, man, being a cool person that he is, from of course the experience that I got from him, he was talking to me back. You know, real quick, we chopped it up, nothing major, and just like that, he had asked me if my son could come on stage with him. I don't even know if he remembered this or not, and just like Ange had just asked him if he wanted to be on the radio. French, asked him if he wanted to come on the stage. And of course he asked me, and I'm like, cool, of course, if he want to go. And man, he looked right at French and declined. He straight up declined, man. And he really wasn't even tripping. French is French is, and I think again he already had touched the mainstream. So my son was only but so old, but I don't even maybe think he knew who French was at the time. But he definitely declined, French. And I was kind of disappointed personally, because of course your son would have touched the stage with French and been able to do his thing while French, and I know that's not the only time French is. I think got with the kids like that on stage, in a way, and let somebody get their shine. So I was hoping that he did it, of course, but he declined. And French, of course, didn't think nothing of it. It was all good. And I think he still got somebody's, kid that was right there. I think the mother was right there next to the stage, of course. It was a friendly concert outdoors like that at the big park. So it was a lot of people out. The girls was out with their kids, just like I was there with my son. And, it was a good thing like that. So he ended up, I think, taking somebody else's kid that was right there near the stage and putting them on stage and, letting the kid rock out. And I think the baby was only but so big. But he definitely, I think he was definitely rocking out with it. The Beat Your Feet Boys was up there still doing their thing. Again, shout out to the Beat Your Feet Boys, Noodles and Crazy Legs, KK and everybody, Portia. So everybody was doing their thing. So French had rocked out. And that was really it with that. It was a good experience that I had with French. I wish I could have chopped it up just a little more with him. But I know I'll probably catch him again. So it ain't no thing. French, this story is of course about you and how friendly. And just just a real guy, just a real person. You know what I mean? And I talked to a lot of people, and French was definitely one that was on both occasions showed me a lot of love, and even tried to take my kid on stage. So that's a real big up. You know what I mean? So that's my celebrity story about French Montana. Okay, shout out to him. Like I said, Red Cafe. This is Street Talk TV. Celebrity stories. Y'all tune in, man. I'll catch you next time. Gone.